Hi, viewers. Welcome to another edition of Mary Clinic Live. How are you today? I remain your host, Malaya Ann Oputi. I would like to say thank you to everyone for joining us again today. I am grateful to you all for joining us. Thank you to all I celebrate you all. I celebrate you all, and we welcome you to Mary Clinic. And thank you to all our members, for always being there. Thank you for always joining us. So today, um, I would like to also start by saying congratulations to everyone that we all made it to this new month of November. I say congratulations to you all. Congrats to everyone that we all made it. Um, a lot has happened this year. Many has passed on. A lot transpired this year, but we want to thank God that here we are alive, we are standing, and that we can breathe, we can see, that we can do all the things that we are doing now is because we are alive. It's because we have breath in our nose. So we celebrate God for that. So I would like to also appreciate all the members of Mary Clinic. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. Some of you have been with us since last year that we started until now. You are still with us. I celebrate you all. I say thank you. And see, even God has been with us at Mary Clinic every day. We recount a lot of testimonies here and there, even though every day we get a lot of issues, a lot of challenges, people sending in their issues, but at the same time, God has been using us to use the tool of truth, to help quite a number of marriages. When we tell the truth to the man and to the woman, before you know it, they go back and reflect on this truth and say that, no, the things could be done differently. And that is what is making the difference. I don't believe in painting black, white. I just let you know, see, with what you are doing, you are going to lose out. You're going to lose your family, you're going to lose your marriage, and it's possible. So we shouldn't say, oh, God forbid. No, do your part, play your part well. Then God will now forbid any evil occurring. But you are not doing your part. You are you are believing that magic or miracle will happen for you. That is not going to fly. So straight to today's business. We have a special guest in the house today. I'm so excited today. Today has been, Thanksgiving for me. Thanksgiving. I'm just elated. I'm excited. I'm just in and the atmosphere of gratitude, of Thanksgiving. Why? Because I'm alive. It's a privilege. It's not a right. And for me, that is a big thing. So please, in our various homes, let's be grateful to God. Let's thank Him. Gather your spouse, your children, show gratitude to God. Thank Him, because if you thank Him now, you will do much more. So we are going straight to business today. Today we have a special guest in the house. As a matter of fact, I've known him now for, I think he's going to close to 20 years now that I've known him. And the truth is, he has not changed from telling people the truth since I knew him then, till now. And he's passionate about this marriage institution, relationship, you getting it right. And, he's also happily married with children. And, he understands this marriage principle very well. You're machine out the truth such that even though it's making you to laugh, but at the same time, those truths, is equally penetrating into your heart. And before you know, you realize that what this person has said, is really what um, checking out is really worth doing. So we are excited to have him in the house. He's a trained psychologist, and I know we are going to be learning a lot from him today. For me, it's a privilege to have him here live on my clinic today. So I want us to celebrate as I bring up. I call him Pa Eluwa. We call him Pastor Andrew Eluwa, but we call him Pa Eluwa. So Pa Eluwa, we welcome you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. And I want
Yeah,
to thank God for what you are doing. We have to speak up and speak truth so that we can get it right. We are learning every day. I always tell people to see me as one of us with a message for all of us. So we keep learning a little there, precept by precept. So thank you so much. I'm honored to be here. I do not take it for light. Thank you.
yeah. Thank you too. Thank you for coming. Thank you for honoring our invitation. So let's just go straight to today's topic. I actually titled it Securing the Peace and Love in Your Marriage, because I can see everything you are doing. I forgot to mention that he is also the convener of Home Advantage, and Home Advantage is an organization that is also committed to helping couples, with the information, the knowledge they need to turn their marriages around. So he will also tell us a little about that later, but we are starting with these questions. So, what red flags do you think young people should look out for before deciding on who they should life partner? So what red flag or red flags should young people look out for before they can take that decision that this one, okay, I can live with it or I can't live with it, before they settle for someone they will journey with for the rest of their life?
Yeah, thank you. I think there are quite a few. Of course, time will only permit us to say the little we can, because the truth is that just from the question is clear that if you miss it in marriage, hell has started from here. It
Hmm.
doesn't mean you will necessarily go to hell, but at least you express hell here. So it's important
True.
that we pay attention to the signals.
Hmm.
And let me start by saying that sometimes we overamplify certain truths and take them out of context. For
Hmm.
example, a young man or a young woman sees certain danger warning signs, and he or she says, "Well, nobody is perfect."
Hmm.
That's the truth. Nobody is perfect. But you see, there's some imperfection you can't handle.
True.
you know. So yes, nobody is perfect, but there are some danger sign and warning sign that you should be careful and beware of. For example, just like you said, before choosing a life partner, you ask
Hmm.
yourself, does this person have a life? So, in other words, it's called future partner.
Hmm.
So you are not going to partner with a non-entity. Someone who is not going nowhere is not qualified to ask someone to follow him
Hmm.
or her. So the first thing is to know, where is this person going? What is the vision? What are his plans? You
Hmm.
don't have all the plans. He doesn't know all his plans. You don't know all of yours. But then there must be a sense of purpose that is in tandem to a higher degree to what you think, even if it's just mere thinking, that
Hmm.
you think that you will be comfortable with. So the person needs to be seen to be going where you are going. At least there must be a sense of purpose and agreement, that the Bible says, can two walk together? I said they be agreed. They be agreed. So there must be some level of agreement. Then also, just to make sure I give at least three or four.
Hmm.
Also, whatever you see
Hmm.
in someone, no matter
Hmm.
how trivial it might appear to another person, whatever you see, whether in terms of behavior, in terms of belief, in terms of disposition, in terms of physical look, whatever you see in the other person that assumes a posture of shame, that you are not comfortable with that. It doesn't matter what Andrew feels about it. Oh, what is that? Why are you looking at the physical stuff? The truth is that if it assumes that magnitude, that it torments you, it affects your esteem, you get so bothered. Yeah, there are so many things we wish our spouse will have that they will not have, but you find that it's just a mere preference that you can still do without. But when it comes to that, they were both not naked, the Holy Bible says, and they were not ashamed. They were both naked. So it's not the absence of nakedness, but when any form of nakedness comes with a massive shame or feeling of dislike, or you feel like you want to force yourself, that is a danger sign, because that way you are feeling may not be corrected or fixed in marriage. It might linger for a longer time. It might linger for a longer time. Then also you look at your beliefs and value system. Unfortunately, people say things like this, but they don't know what values are. Just like it sounds, value. What do you value? What is important to you? It's not the value you copy from the banking hall. Integrity, hard work. That is not what we're saying. Everybody is living by a particular principle, whether he's really aware of it or not. And these principles, or what you call belief system or value system, unfortunately, they don't change overnight. In fact, just like attitude, I read psychology, and of course, we are told that attitude is relatively permanent. So attitude hardly changed. So when you see certain divergent belief system is so wide apart, your belief system are so wide apart, your value system are so wide apart, then it is a danger sign, a red flag that you must be cautious of and ask yourself, do I want to go on with this? So when you have such restrictions in terms of your value system, in terms of your belief system, is very, very powerful. There must be an agreement. There must be an agreement. Then certain character, behavior, discipline. How is this person behaving? If somebody, for example, shows up an attitude that he or she is doing you a favor in marrying you, run. It's a very terrible signal. Some people approach women or approach men as if they want to do them a favor. You see, two of you are growing, it's going to be a symbiotic relationship anyway. So if from the outset you feel that you are just there, the best thing that is going to happen to this person, and it has nothing to offer, you just want to pity him or her. So these signals are things that should bother anyone who is designing. Because you're not going to stay there for 2 months. You are planning to stay for life. So you can't afford. You see, the truth is this: there are some things you have to endure in marriage, but it doesn't mean that the journey is a journey of endurance.
You're right.
Yeah. So those are some of the things that some things done. Unfortunately, for women, ladies, most of them marry men hoping that they will change.
True.
And that is the paradox. And men now marry women hoping they won't change. That shows you the emphasis and where we place our emphasis on. For the man, most men, that is, they have this heavy emphasis on physicality, the look, the shape, and all that. So when they marry someone who is very, slim or figure eight or whatever people talk about as the generally acceptable way of looking, so they put a lot of premium on that, and so they hope that the woman will not change at all. Whereas the woman also sees so many character defects, sees so many misbehaviors. Some of them get beaten even in courtship. You see a man slapping you and all of that. You see the way he treats his younger sister or elder sisters when he's angry, and you just go into it hoping that he would change. So marriage does not really change us. Sometimes it reveals us to us.
True.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You have done justice to that question. So the next question is, why is it that some women take offense at the word submission? I mean, when some women hear that word submission, submit to your husband, they just simply take offense. They don't want to hear it. So Is there a reason for that?
Well, that could be so many reasons anyway. But first, let's start from when you have a faulty understanding of a concept, then you are going to, misuse it, abuse it. So there is this lack of proper understanding about submission and equality and all of that. So that makes it difficult for people to want to entertain any word that made them appear as if they are subjects, they are inferior, because that is the way some people understand it. And unfortunately, even some men, they say, I'm your husband, so you must submit to me. So they see it as the concept of the Lord, I am the Lord, and you are the slave. But that is not the idea of submission. And for most women, you can imagine the danger that portends if you are trying to deal with what they call glass ceiling in the secular world, where you're not able to aspire. You see the height there, you see the vacancy there, you qualify, but you cannot get it. That's why it's called glass ceiling. It's so tormenting. You can see where you're meant to be, but for certain reasons, you cannot just get there because somebody feels is discriminated against you because you're a woman, because you are from a particular race. Now, so if you know how tormenting that is, you wouldn't want to join it with being in a house or in a home permanently being treated as a slave or a subject. So that is one of the reasons some women don't want to hear about it, because they believe, wrongly anyway, that it has to do with having somebody to take over your will and just control your life, and you say you become a dummy, you say whatever the person says. And because also that is what they see, some people learn vicariously, seeing what people do, they also learn that way. So when you see how men that have treated their wives, and also some women have also had some experiences before. Some people had relationship, some didn't get to marry, some ended in marriage, and they knew how somebody humiliated them. They saw how they were so maltreated just because of the concept of submission. And when the elders come, they say, well, it's your husband, you have to submit. So it's like they get so bored, so fed up with that word submission. But I think if you put it in proper perspective, it simply means releasing, deliberately ceding your right, for a larger purpose. Not that somebody is commanding you. It's deliberately ceding your right. For example, I tell people this. I said, the Holy Bible says the wife, where people get this, submit to your own husband. Submit to your own husband. And I've always said this. If the woman is a non-entity, let me rephrase it, a non-entity, in other words, a persona non grata, if she has no value, if there's nothing she's bringing, then you can't command her to submit. The fact that God asked the woman to submit means that the woman has everything it takes to be the head. By the way, he brought a woman that is meet, that is fit. Those are the words he used. Suitable, a man that can stand where you stand. But because for things to move smoothly, you can't possibly have two drivers driving the same car. The president of Nigeria, the president of America, the president of UK, they're not the smartest. But then they determine when we go to war, because all of us cannot press the button at the same time. So it's not a matter of superiority or inferiority complex. But when we don't understand it, it affects the man's behavior. It also affects the woman's behavior. So the man behaves as a law in the sense of that word. But the Bible kind of lordship is the one that was mirrored by Abraham. If you look at Abraham, you see a picture of a man who it seems in a way as if the wife was the one controlling him. But that is not it. It's a man who knows how to harness family resources, both human resources, financial resources, for the benefit of the larger group. So God said to him, listen to your wife. So we see a Lord that was listening. We see a Lord that could be wrong. We see a Lord that seeks for suggestions. You understand? It surprises me because I teach on this. I counsel with so many people. I see women tell me this, and it's painful. If you're a man listening to us, you have to watch this. Some men come back from the office, drop their bag, and off they go without even telling their wives. Is it not amazing? Is it not surprising? Now, because they feel, what do I need to? And if he comes back, where are you coming from? What's the problem? Do I need to take permission from you? So they don't understand that you can't be married and continue to live as single. Yes. So and that's the unfortunate thing. People get married, they still want to live as singles.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. And they don't want to be accountable.
Yes. They don't want to be accountable.
Okay, thank you for that. So the next question says, how do couples create and enjoy peace in their marriage? How do you create peace or enjoy peace in your marriage? Because I've seen cases where the woman will be like, oh, and the man will be like, oh, this woman, she's stubborn. We can't have two captains, in this ship. She won't listen. She always wants to have her way. She will not apologize. This one, that one, she's rebellious. So how do you think we can create peace even in the midst of all of these traits?
Yeah. Let me first say that I'm trying to just rush the answers. I just pick a few because of the time we have. There are so many things we won't be able to cover here. So let me say, chief among the various ways to achieve peace is number one, be a man or woman of peace. There is something known as a quarrelsome man or a quarrelsome woman. As a person, be a lover of peace. We all know we grew up, went to school, went to university, went to primary school, secondary school. Everybody knows those people that are not peaceful at those stages. Those who are stubborn, who will not, yes. So also, if you bring this kind of disposition, if you bring this kind of tendency that for me, once I get angry, I am angry, I don't listen to anybody. If you bring this kind of thing, yes, if you bring this kind of disposition, if you bring it to marriage, you are heading for disaster. So the first thing is that you must love peace. You must be a man or woman of peace. There is no need to fight. You disagree. I normally say, people, if you have a healthy home, you fight in love, not fighting for love. You see, other people fight for love. There's no love, so they are fighting. But some people fight in love, which means no matter their disagreement, the base is love. They disagree in love. So you must first be a man or a woman of peace. And number two, which is very, very important, mutual respect.
True.
Mutual respect. You see, you have to respect your spouse. You see, if I respect you, there are some things that I will not expect from you. If I respect you, I will treat you fairly.
True.
If I have the fear of God, I will treat you fairly. If I respect you, for example, there are many things I try out in my marriage. I've tried that in my marriage because I grew up to hear that it's not possible. And I noticed that these are offshoot of lack of mutual respect. So you hear men say something like this: wow, you cannot teach your wife how to drive. Then I ask myself why. Of course, we see examples of people who go to learn and they will leave the car there and find their ways. It's because the man who is not able to teach his wife how to drive is able to teach his secretary, is able to teach his pastor's wife, he's able to teach his neighbor. Why? Because he has taken his wife or his husband for granted.
True.
So if you can transfer the respect you have on your pastor's wife or your pastor's husband or your head of department or your CEO or your neighbor, if you can transfer the same respect, you know, I thought of something. I called it ensuring. Having peace in homes. The customer service approach to enjoying peace in home. The customer service approach. I said for some of us, if we can treat our spouse as a customer, we'll have a healthier home. You go to a banking hall, you see a man shouting, I'm going to burn this place down, I'll be waiting here. And you see a good-looking young lady come out, we are very sorry, sir. Or a man, we are sorry, we are working on it, we are going to fix it. All right, please just bear with us. A lot of men or women will be so shocked seeing how their spouses operate in the office. We treat people as humans. We get to home and we treat our own spouses as animals. So mutual respect is key. Mutual respect is key. Mutual respect, the fear of God, be a man of peace, and also communicate. There are things we don't talk about that tear us apart. Yet there are other things we talk about in ways that tear us apart. So you need to engage in, healthy communication. Shun some words that belittle people. Don't speak in categorical terms. Talk in a way that you empower the other one to respond. If I say you are stupid, I've not empowered you to respond. I've simply told you what I feel, what I say you are. But if I want to empower you to respond, I will say something that I feel that you don't process your thoughts, because each time I ask you questions, you answer in this manner, which means I have stated my feeling, I claim ownership for it, I have stated what elicited that feeling, and I've also given you possible solution to solve it. In that way, I'm empowering you to respond. So these are the things we do. Then finally simplify your life. It sounds very simple, just like it sounds. Simplify your life. You see, for example, if there are things that you don't like, I'll give you a practical example. You have a husband who forgets wedding dates, anniversary dates, birthday date. It's not good with dates. He even forgets his own birthday. And now your birthday is coming or your anniversary is coming, and you are saying to yourself, I'm going to see if he will remember. Then why do you want to set him up for that? Go ahead and keep reminding him. Life is too serious for unnecessary battle. Go ahead, reminding him that today is my birthday. Don't say you forget to. If you come back without anything, this house will not be. Don't make this life. It's not complicated. Simplify your life. When you do that, you are bound to have peace. And of course, because of time, you also need to know how to manage third parties. You have to know how to manage third parties, so you don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself, and that by implication, it means you must shun comparing your spouse. There's always that temptation. There is always that temptation. It's a temptation we have to fight every day. Don't give in to that temptation to compare your spouse. Because I tell people, if you do that, if you compare your wife to Funsha Alakija as the richest woman, or Beyonce, and she can also compare you to Dangote or Bill Gates. So we should find a way to avoid those things. Those are things that trigger conflict. Yeah.
Thank you for that. So
Welcome.
the next question says, what advice will you give to men who can't do without cheating on their spouses? They can't do without cheating. We hear things like side chicks, side chick, my husband is cheating on me, and it's becoming too rampant. Even we have women too that do cheat on their husband. What do you think can be done about that?
Well, the direct answer is leave the side chick. but we know that for some people, It might be something that they have tried to, disengage from. There are people who do things like that, and it's unfortunate they don't give a damn. The wife knows about it, and they say, yes, you can't stop me. That's my life. Am I not giving you? That is still the idea of seeing the woman as a slave. Am I not giving you food? Is there anything you need? I don't supply, but they have forgotten the emotional needs. So that those men need some special therapy anyway. But let's take on those who, for certain reasons, they have found themselves in that situation and find it difficult to pull out. The first thing I would say is that, number one, just realize that when you cheat, whether it is court wedding, Muslim wedding, uh, Christian wedding, whatever kind of wedding it is, even the law of the land, when you cheat, you are doing wickedly against the covenant of marriage. You are betraying trust, and you must take responsibility for whatever happens in that marriage eventually. Trust is one thing that is so difficult to build and easy to destroy. Easy to destroy. And one of the ways that trust can be destroyed easily is through marital infidelity. That is why that is a valid ground for people to, move. Yes, yes. It's not that you have to, once anything happens, you back out. No, it's because if it has eaten into trust, it's not even healthy for the two parties. Because that person has now built a lifetime of cheating. So that man is going to live in perpetual hurt. And those who hurt others. So when you are living with someone who is hurting, he's going to do some unbelievable things. So when it gets that level, sometimes it's better that the person keeps off. So you have to understand that you are doing wickedly against the covenant, and you are setting your marriage up for disaster. Then to help those who really want to come out and they seem like stranded, in a manner of speaking, the first thing is this. I tell people, keep off, cut off before you attempt to put off. So if you want to put off any behavior, you want to stop something, don't go to the woman or to the man to tell him last statement that I want to tell you now, I'm no more interested. Keep off. When you keep off, it is easier to pull off. It is easier to take off certain habits when you have disconnected from the pathogenic environment, or the environment that are what we call the precipitating factors. They are the things that elicit that behavior. So you have to move away. It's an evil communication corrupts good man. So when he that walks with the wise shall be wise, but the companions of fools shall be destroyed. So when you walk with somebody, you are going to learn the person's ways. It's only a matter of time. So it is important that you disconnect from any form of relationship. One, first with the side chick or side bubble, you disconnect with that one first. Disconnect with, you see, everybody has friends that you know that when you are with them, immoralities will not be encouraged. Immoralities will not grow. You see, so you have to then select your friends, those ones who are good for evil. You have to run far away from them. And if you need, some may require help. Yes, some may require help, just like with masturbation and different other stuff. You might need to go for therapeutic help, go to specialists. There are specialists that can help you. There are psychologists. There are different people that can help you getting a tailor-made answer, knowing your peculiar, knowing what triggered it, knowing what is happening, if there are things at home that is pushing you out, and they'll be able to solve it. And because I'm a person of faith, I believe in the spiritual realm. Sometimes people are connected into adultery, and that becomes a kind of entanglement. It becomes a spiritual thing. Not everybody. I'm not a demon catcher, or a deliverance pursuing people anyhow. But I'm saying that there's something that once you enter into them, you are trapped. It becomes like bondage, because you don't know who. You think you are going into a man onto a woman. You are going into a cult. You are going into the pit of hell. So
mm,
sometimes you might require spiritual help to pull out of such behavior. So get somebody trusted,
mm,
an authority figure that you can, count on and confide
mm.
in, because sin, error, those things thrive in secrecy.
True.
That is the strength of sin. When
Mm,
you do it in secrecy, it multiplies. But just telling a friend that I have this problem is enough to give you a sense that you have an accountability partner somewhere, and that could
mm.
also help, among other things. Yes.
Okay, thank
I don't know
you
if I'm
for.
making sense at all.
Yes, you are making a lot of sense. So we need to run quickly now. So this
Yes.
question says, what advice do you have for women who disrespect their husband in the name of equality? Oh, we are equal, and because of that, they are disrespectful to the man.
Well, like I said, obviously that is a clear reflection of lack of understanding when it
Mm,
comes to the concept of submission. You see, if
mm,
you feel you have to prove that you are the same, it means that you even might be battling with inferiority complex. As a woman, you are not inferior to anybody. You are not inferior to anybody. And so, but when you see yourself as inferior, you are likely going to give wrong interpretation to innocent, harmless moves by your spouse. The thing
mm,
is, equality does not mean disorderliness.
mm,
God has instituted the concept of order in marriage. You are to aspire to be anything you want to be in life, but within the circumference of your faith and your
mm,
values, God has so instituted it that somebody will, the final analysis, navigate a path for the home. So I think that person should have a rethink if you really want to have peace. It's part of simplifying your life. If you want to have peace,
mm.
you don't have to make things complicated. Yeah.
True, true, true. Thank you so much for answering those questions. So we are on the last one now. So I know you are the convener of Home Advantage, and
Yeah.
from that word, home advantage, for what comes to mind is okay. There is an advantage that comes with the home, or there is an advantage that having maybe a peaceful home gives to you as a person. Recently I spoke about why it is important for people to be happy at home more than anywhere else. But I heard quite a number of people say, it doesn't work like that. Or some of us prefer, to be outside the home because that is where we get our happiness from. At home is trouble, is this, is that, is headache. So maybe you should talk a little about the home. What advantage do people stand to gain when the home is peaceful and they derive happiness from going home?
Well, I think some things are, we have the ideal situation, how something should be.
Mm,
So clearly, the home is a place where you can be real and still be thrilled. It's a place where you experience unconditional acceptance. It's a place where your praise is at the highest level, where you
mm,
have your support group, your fan base. In football, that concept was borrowed from football. There's something called home advantage. So when you are playing at home, it is expected
mm,
that you have certain advantage, the crowd, the
true,
familiar terrain, such
true.
that affects your rating eventually. So if you have a draw, it will be to your disadvantage. That means you're at home and you
Mm,
couldn't maximize that advantage. So, and in Mark chapter 5, there's a story of a madman. That madman was healed by Jesus Christ, and the man said, I want to follow you. And Jesus Christ said, go back home. So I began to
mm,
wonder, why will you ask a man to go back home? Don't forget, he was a madman living in the streets. But
mm,
Jesus knew that you cannot go on life with life with a battered esteem, with
mm,
inferiority complex, with a wounded personality. So we
mm,
need to first get it together. And to
mm,
do that, the home was the preferred option. Say, go home. Because expectedly at home, you will be accepted unconditionally. Yes, they won't leave you the way you are, but
mm,
they are going to first accept you the way you are. So a home should be a place where you can be, you can let loose your guard and without appearing foolish. You can even afford to be foolish because you feel you are protected. It's a place you can be vulnerable. In fact, even the word trust itself, trust is heavily loaded with vulnerability. Is the willingness to accept vulnerability. So if I say I trust you, it means I am willing to become vulnerable around you. So at the home also is a place where you can be vulnerable and you still feel a sense of security. It's a place where somebody genuinely love you, not just because you are part of their lives. So for those who are not having it well at home, it doesn't mean that the home is not a place to be desired. It simply means that some things are not right in that home. The players in that home are not playing the game the way it should be played. Any day, anytime, the home is a place where you must have advantage. You can't lose in the office and lose at home. All right, your cheerleader must be waiting for you at home. And when we understand this concept, we'll make our home heaven on earth.
Please, thank you so much, Fire. I know that it's because of time. Time
Oh,
will
yeah.
not allow you to, to
Yeah.
really explode. But I mean, with the little that you have said, we have learned a lot. We have learned a lot. You've spoken so well. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank
I
you. It's
really
my pleasure. Thank
appreciate
you.
you, for
Thank
your
you.
time. Thanks for coming. We do hope that, we will have you some other time.
No problem. That would be my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you. My
Yeah.
regards to all.
I
Yeah.
will.
Bye. Bye. Woo! So we have come to the end. So we have come to the end of today's program. I do hope that we have learned a lot. Please listen to the video again, share it with others, and leave us a comment, leave us a like. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel if you are yet to do so, as we promise to bring you more interesting and insightful programs, even in the nearest future. Thank you so much for joining us. I remain your host, Molai, and hope until we meet again, as if